Hello and welcome to this Adobe Connect tutorial. In this tutorial we want to demonstrate the following functions: the Meeting tab, the Layout tab, the Pods tab, the Audio tab, the Audio button, the Microphone button, the Webcam button and the Communication button. The Meeting tab. As soon as you have entered Adobe Connect via Sakai, it is recommended to check your audio settings as a first step. To do so, select the tab Meeting on the top left of your screen and select Audio Setup Wizard. The Audio Setup window will open and display a welcome message. Click on Next to start with the setup. As a first step, you can select the speaker you want to attend the webinar with. Click Next to continue. In this step, you can check the functionality of your speaker. For that, please click on Play Sound. After a successful test, please continue with Next. Please select the microphone you want to use to talk. Continue with Next. With the record function, you can speak a test signal through your microphone to check the quality. Use Play Recording to hear the record through your selected speaker. Continue with Next. To tune the silence level, click on Test Silence and stay quiet until the task is finished. Click on Next to get an overview of all the settings you just did. Continue with Finish to close the Setup Wizard. In the Meeting tab, you can adjust general settings for the current Adobe Connect session. Using Manage Meeting Information, you can adjust different settings for your webinar. Manage Access and Entry. In this option, you can grant access to participants or guests, or you can add further guests. Additionally, it is possible to promote participants to presenters automatically or block them. It is recommended to activate the HTML client so all students can participate in the webinar. You can also change your own role. As a host, it is always possible to get back to the host role even if you change to participant. Preferences. Using Preferences, you can select the interface of Adobe Connect once you're entering it and also the display name of the participants. Additionally, you can do more detailed settings for the audio conference, video and microphone, as well as the screen sharing and other pods. It is recommended to use the standard settings, as they are best practice between quality and internet usage. Record Meeting. This option is very important to replay the meeting. Students have the possibility to participate in the meeting despite it already being finished. Clicking on Record Meeting, a new window will pop up. Name and description of the current webinar can be adjusted. Clicking on OK starts the recording. Once the webinar is finished, use the same option to end the recording or to pause it during breaks. Using the Prepare mode, you can adjust layouts without participants seeing the changes. The Presenters Only area will switch to a new interface where the engagement dashboard is displayed. Presenters can also take notes. Further options are setting the meeting to full screen or end it. The Layouts tab. In the Layouts tab, the layout of the current webinar can be adjusted or can be created from scratch. Using the option New Layout, you can create a new empty layout or duplicate one that is already existing. Once new layout is selected, all pods will disappear and can be added manually via the Pods tab. Size and position of the pods can be adjusted on your own preferences. In the Layout tabs, you can also select pre-created layouts. Once selected, the related pods are appearing automatically. Existing layouts can be managed or reset. The layout bar on the right side, which allows fast switching between the layout options, can be activated or deactivated. The Pods tab. Here you can add different pods to the current layout or the layout in the prepare mode. Further functions of the pods will be shown now. The Share pod allows to share different elements with participants. The Screen Share allows the sharing of your desktop, an application or a window. Once you have chosen an option, Adobe Connect will minimize so you can work directly in the selected application. In the small menu, you have the most important settings of Adobe Connect available. When exiting the screen share, Adobe Connect switches back to full screen mode. The document share allows the sharing of PowerPoint slides or other documents. You can choose between an already uploaded element or upload a new one from your file browser. To design a more diverse webinar, you can use the whiteboard option. The whiteboard offers some basic functions. Use the notepad to permanently share notes with your participants. This is also possible during discussions. Using the Attendees pods gives the possibility to show a list of all attendees of the current webinar. As a host or presenter, it is possible to grant different rights to single participants. For example, microphone or webcam, or even the screen share. It is also possible to adjust the role of the attendee. If needed, attendees can be split into breakout rooms. Attendees are split into different groups, which each have their own user interface inside of Adobe Connect. These are controlled by the hosts or presenters. The video pod allows to activate your own webcam. Important to note is that the webcam needs to be shared after it has been started. The chat option enables or disables the chat window. Using the file share, it is possible to share documents with your students. You can either select an already uploaded file or upload a new one from your file browser. It is also possible to share web links. Use the Add Link function and the link will be visible in the window. With Browse to, the whole webinar will be redirected to the website. To get more interaction into the webinar, you can use poll options. These can either be done with multiple choice or written answers. The result can either be shared with all participants or is only visible to hosts and presenters. It is also possible to ask questions directly to hosts and presenters, which they can answer directly inside the pod. In the pods menu, it can be set if size and position of the pod can be changed. Manage Pods gives the option to either rename or delete a pod if needed. The Audio tab. The Audio tab allows to grant microphone access to all participants. Please handle this option with care. It is recommended to warn the participants that their microphone is activated and that they should mute it, and only reactivate it if they want to talk. If the single speaker mode is activated, only the person that activated it is allowed to talk. All other participants are not able to talk even if their microphone is enabled. This option is only available to hosts and presenters. The audio conference settings redirect to the preferences, which can also be found in the Meeting tab. The Audio button. Using the drop-down menu next to the speaker symbol on the top left of your screen, you can mute the sound of Adobe Connect and reactivate it. Should the sound of Adobe Connect be too low or too high, please use Adjust Speaker Volume to change the sound to your satisfaction. Once selected, a new window will pop up where you can use a drag slider to adjust the volume. Continue with OK. The third option of the audio button allows to change the speaker if needed. The microphone button. Clicking on the microphone button activates the microphone. It is also possible to use the drop-down menu and click on Connect My Audio. You are able to talk once the microphone button glows in green if the audio settings have been done correctly. Now it is possible to mute the microphone in the drop-down menu or disconnect it. It is also possible to adjust the microphone volume or select an alternative microphone if available. The webcam button. The webcam button allows to share your webcam. To activate it, either click on Start My Webcam in the video window or directly on the webcam button. The drop-down menu allows to start the webcam or select a different device. It is also possible to activate the webcams of all participants. The last option from the drop-down menu redirects to the preferences. The communication button. Next to the speaker symbol there is the communication button. It allows different communication options with the participants. The first option allows to raise your hand. As host of the webinar, you will not need this option frequently. You can lower your hand by either clicking on Lower Hand or on Delete Status on the bottom of the drop-down menu. If a participant raises his hand, you can see it here and directly activate his microphone. It is also possible to agree or disagree with the group. If you shortly need to leave the webinar, please use the Step Away button to communicate it. Once you're back, use the Step In button. It is also possible to motivate the current speaker to speak louder, softer, faster or slower. Share joy and respect with the laughter or applaud button with the group.